Yes, so we are here, we are live. What about that? It took
Yeah.
less than last time for me.
Okay, making progress. It's always good.
Yes, yes,
We're here to cover a lot of
definitely. Yeah.
things. Yes. Well, thanks for having me.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming, Andrei. I was really excited about this conversation. I always am, but um, I was amazed when we first met, when we talked, and then when we first met, I was, yeah, we will definitely need a couple of interviews just for you to be able to share everything. We will try to share as much as possible today. Thank you so much for coming and joining us from Copenhagen.
Yeah, exactly.
Tell
Copenhagen.
me, tell me please, am I pronouncing it right? Is it Copenhagen or how do you say it in Denmark?
People usually say Copenhagen. Yeah,
Okay.
but I think it's very common amongst tourists or newcomers to call it Copenhagen for the first couple of years of their stay here, and then eventually they get convinced that it is in fact Copenhagen. So, but yeah, I'm all in for Copenhagen, I would say.
Yes, we have to make an effort, right? I mean, all countries have their own accents, and it's kind of like a way to also to adapt and to respect the people of the site. So yeah, for me it's very important. I always try to pronounce as as accurate as I can. It's not easy, but I try to do it.
Well, they like
Okay.
to make it sound American here, so.
Yes. How how was your day? I mean, we are seeing each other late in the evening. It's 7 o'clock. Did you have a good day today?
Yes, I have been working today. I had my haircut afterwards.
Yeah, I see that. You look very sharp. My hair is. I'm not a hairdresser client, so yeah, I usually make my hair myself. So yeah, but I really like it. I would go just to be pampered, you know.
Yeah, it's always nice to get a bit of a refresh.
Yeah, definitely. We all need that.
Yeah, but other
Okay,
than that, I had a very good day. I would say, yeah, yeah. Thank you. How about
I'm
you?
yeah, me too. I had a couple of meetings and things are working well in also in my career. So yeah, I had a good day today. I still have a meeting after we finish. So yeah, because I work with Latin America, so the schedules are different. So for me, it's like midday now, you know.
Okay. Like you're having a lunch soon.
Yeah, actually, it's what I'm gonna do after we finish. So yeah. So let's start. Thank you so much again. So let's start. Tell me, let's start with your roots. I mean, people already assume that we have common roots, but let's say it. Where were you born?
I was born in a medieval town in the middle of Transylvania called
Hmm.
Sighișoara,
Wow.
in
Yeah.
1997. And I have left my hometown when I was 18. Um, yeah, right after
Great.
graduating from high school, I have moved abroad. I moved to London, in fact.
Wow. Wow. So you see, here we have a very similar story because I also moved away from northern Transylvania, but I was I didn't go to London. I went to Spain,
Mhm.
and if I remember well, you went to London to study.
Yes, that's correct.
Mm,
It was the end of my high school. I wasn't quite sure what I would like to do, and I knew I had a thing for food. So then, in a way, yeah, I started doing some research to find out what's out there in my home country, and I wasn't fully satisfied with the options I would have been presented with if I were to go and study something related to food. So I decided one night, 3 o'clock in the morning, to start looking for some inspiration, and I found a university in London, which was doing something very interesting, and I just sent my application right away. I mean, I
wow,
started the process in a way.
at like 12 o'clock at night.
I think it was more like a 3 a.m. type of.
Oh, yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
And so it was,
amazing. Yeah. I was amazed by that story, and I'm really happy that you shared it because it shows like you were determined to do something different in your life, even if you were so young, right? Because with 18, I mean, in Spain, yeah, I want to say kids with 18 because they are so young still, you know, because they are very protected by their families. You don't see so many young kids like that, like you, with such a determination to do something different, to do something big.
well, I don't know how big it is. I knew I wanted to, yeah, to do what I want, and not be limited by the system around me. And that was already happening at that age, I felt. So I decided to just sort of take a leap and try.
Hmm.
So
Do
I
you
know,
do you feel you were a bit of a rebel, or it was just
yeah,
because, yeah.
yeah,
Okay. Another thing we have in common, yeah.
yeah.
I think that was like one of my main. I just wanted to do it because I wanted to try something maybe crazy that sounded like it was crazy. And I'm really happy that I did, you know, that gave me a boost of confidence because you need it, right? You need to risk things and for things to fall into place. So yeah, I'm happy that it in your
I feel like my
situation.
confidence kick happened when I actually managed to finish my journey in London, and accomplish all I've set to accomplish in the first place. I think that's when I realized that the world is my oyster and there's nothing really that can stop me. Like, but you know what I mean is that I felt like I set myself to quite a big task at that age, and having accomplished it, I was like, okay, London town, I did it. So now, like, I might as well go on and on and on. And that, I don't think I had that confidence when I left. I was very much, yeah. I knew I was going to make it work because when I set my mind to it, you know, I do tend to not give up. Of
Yeah.
course, it makes sense, but
Mm.
um, yeah. So I think that was sort of where my
Yeah, your first step outside the comfort zone, a big step outside, like, more than a step. I think it was like a huge jump. But yeah,
yeah.
from our point of view, because I know I see you have your personality is also like modest and humble. I think it's something in we have in Romania, and I tend to bring up the subject every time it's, of course, it comes around with all my other um, guests here in Expat Life. We talked about that. Like, the first thing we notice when we go abroad is that we are very modest. We tend to be humble and to be, but not also in a bad way, in a good way as well. But sometimes we could be more um not so modest, you know, like trying to sell ourselves a bit better. Actually, I had Lucia from the United States, and she said that it's such a huge difference the way her daughters are educated in the United States in school to be very to know how to sell themselves, you know, like to
Mm.
bring up the best in them, to be aware of what they have. So I think it's a very nice trait. I love it in Romanian people, that we are humble and we are very modest. But yeah, that there comes a time when we have to a, a bit let that aside in some situations, at least.
Yeah, 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 I agree. I agree.
Okay, I think the introduction is really nice. So we have a picture of you with 18 going to a London university, studying cooking or food,
Yeah.
science.
So
Tell
uh,
me a bit more in detail about that, how it went, and what brought you in your career.
yeah, so I went over to study a Bachelor of Science in Culinary Arts and Management at the University of West London. a program that was set to last for 3 years. And I did. I went there. It was a very interesting and yeah, just a very immersive experience. Not only to study in such city, but to live there. And while I was studying this particular profession or yeah industry, I was also working as a chef across the city, and yeah, I ended up working with several agencies and restaurants, doing work for Wembley Stadium, for Arsenal, for I worked for
Wow.
Ramsey for a while, and yeah, I've been around the whole city, I would say, which was very, very interesting having the opportunity to meet so many people. And in fact, I was spinning around the town almost daily, meeting new teams. So that was super cool. Yeah.
Wow, amazing. I'm so happy that you had the opportunity to have that experience. So all of that happened in the length of 3 years or more. How long did you stay in London?
So exactly 3 years. I moved before I started my studies and moved like one day after graduation. So
Wow. Give me that diploma, I'm leaving.
exactly. Yes, exactly. Yeah, 3 years. Yeah, uh, and it was, I always say that it was a place where I grew up a lot
Definitely.
as a kid. A city of food, a city of culture, a city of music, of arts, of fashion, of all of it. Diversity. So amazing. Yeah, I had but at the same time, it's a very heavy place.
Yeah.
It takes some nerve to go through that city, in the sense of, having to navigate the daily life in such a big metropolis.
But
It's
I mean, the difference was huge because you come from Sighisoara in the center of Transylvania. That's how many people did you have? 2,000 to 200,000? How do
no,
you
no.
say?
It's roughly 23,000 people.
23,000. Oh, wow. So
Yeah,
yeah, I mean, we are talking not even like the center of London is even bigger than that.
we're not even talking about my street. I think. In fact, I mean, uh, you're talking about a city that, including the metropolitan area, you're talking 16 million people, which is basically
Yeah,
what the population of Romania is at the moment.
yeah, yeah. Wow.
So
So yeah, that I mean, you were there with 18. You must have felt dizzy for 3 months, like I remember the impact when I came to Spain and I went to Valencia. It was not such a big city. I come from Baia Mare. Baia Mare is bigger than Sighisoara. It's not a huge city, but still is bigger. So I was like, no, I don't know, a different world, like a different planet. But London, when I went to London, I don't know, like 50 years ago, 15 years ago, I was amazed as well because I already have been living in Spain for 5 or 6 years. And I was like, what? This is crazy. As you said, it's very heavy. And the nightlife, I was like, there are more people in the streets at night than during the day. It
yeah,
seemed to me.
yeah. But it will always hold a special place in my heart.
Definitely, yeah. Yeah. So
I'll
what
let
did you do after
you
that? So what happened after? You said, okay, I'm done with London. Where did you go? Did you go to Denmark?
Yeah, so I was approaching the end of my studies, and by this point, I have been working in the food industry all throughout my studies, and I've been doing some freelance photography work. And that's also something that I was flirting with back in high school. I used to work as a party photographer, and I was doing portraits and events. So I was always spinning in between the two, right? And
Mm-hmm.
towards the end of my studies, I was looking for master's degrees because I don't know, it seems to be the way to go. If you're a Romanian, you have to go to do in both of them in a way. So I don't think that I was very aware on if I was very conscious on my choice of going and studying a master's degree right after. Maybe I could have taken a bit of time off, but regardless, I did find a master's degree that looked interesting, which was at the University of Copenhagen in Copenhagen. So yeah, I've applied and got in and moved one day after graduation.
You said let's
Yeah.
start another adventure. Let's explore this other passion that I
Yeah.
have, right?
I have been visiting Copenhagen prior to this decision several times. And yeah, I used to come like, for 2 nights from London. And I
Wow.
just fell in love with it. Don't know why. I remember seeing a music video that was shot in Copenhagen, which is just like always at the back of my head, and I knew it's here because it was so like gloomy and like foggy and rainy, and like, oh, this talks to my artist's heart. So
Yeah.
then when I was exploring the options for me to study abroad, my parents in fact suggested Denmark. Thought about it, and then I was like, Denmark, I've been there, like that was really nice. So then I applied, came here over at the university, and then yeah, got in and moved. But yeah,
That's very like, it seems like you are doing that. You did the same, just that this time you were more cautious about choosing. I mean, you were cautious in the sense that you've really chosen a city, a place that you knew you would like.
exactly,
And
and that's a very important factor in this choice, in fact, because when I moved to London, I never really considered how my life would look like on a daily basis and how healthy and sustainable it is on the long run to be in that geographical surrounding. And when I chose Copenhagen, those factors certainly played a big role, apart from the academic progression and,
sure.
you know, yeah. So
But I want to say two things about you. So as well, like I've seen your grades in both of the universities, and you are like a genius. Or what's wrong with you?
not at
You
all, not at
not at
all.
all. But I mean, you have like the honor, or I don't know what, in London, and you were graded 10. Your
Um,
final work was graded 10. That's because they
10
didn't
out
have.
of 12. That's worth mentioning. A
Ah,
weird grading system in Denmark, which only Danes will understand it, or the locals. So you have, I think it's a
okay. So
seven grade.
you're not a genius. Okay,
I'm, I'm an aspiring one. I guess I still have to work a little bit. I had a
on
good time, I
on
think.
your next in your next master you'll get a 12, right?
Ain't happening.
Okay, so what did you say? Now you're done moving to cities and doing masters, or what? You don't know.
I'm happy to call Copenhagen home, and
Wow, nice to
to
hear that.
yes, and to I'm happy to have had made the efforts to grow roots and to find home here. In fact,
Yeah.
um,
It's an attitude as well. It's something that we have to build. I know that. I've experienced it myself. I know how it is. It's definitely how it has to be done, because you have to invest time and a bit of effort and intention to feel at home in a place that's not yours.
yeah. So now it's been almost 5 years in August since I've been living in Copenhagen.
Hmm.
Uh, so
So how is your status there? Do you share your life with someone? Do you have family?
yeah, I live with my boyfriend. We live in the city center, and
Wow, that's
my
nice.
yeah,
Hmm.
and my family is still back in Romania. Both my parents and my sister.
Oh, you
Yeah.
have a sister in Romania as well. Is she younger than you?
No, she's almost 3 years older than me.
No, so she must be my
Yeah.
age. No, I'm trying to be, because you said you were from 97, right?
27, yes.
Yeah, I wished. No way. I'm more. I mean, I wished I would be 94. No way. Oh my God, you're so young.
My sister is from 94.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I wished I would be from 94. No, I'm from 82, so yeah.
Okay, it doesn't show.
I know. Yeah. No, and your age doesn't show either, neither for the good nor for the bad. I think you take care of yourself in a good way, and it shows that you've found like a balance, right? Like a balance between, when we struggle sometimes to achieve things, and we work and we invest time, and sometimes we get tired as well. It doesn't matter how old you are, because the body feels that anyway. So that shows, and you have a very healthy look as well on your face. And yeah, that's, I'm sure, because you're doing things right. Okay, I'm so happy. I mean, you're sharing so many things. It's amazing. You're living in the center of Copenhagen with your boyfriend. How long have you been living there? It's like a new apartment, or how? I know
Yeah,
it's not easy to settle in a big city, because you have
yeah,
to wait for that opportunity to get that nice flat. And
yeah. So me and my boyfriend got together about 4 years ago in June. Um,
wow.
June,
Mm.
and then we moved in together like 2 months after. We were very immature at the time. But we made it
Yeah.
work. We made it work, and yeah, we committed to this, and yeah, it's finding accommodation in Copenhagen. It's extremely hard. In fact, it's very expensive, and also
Yeah.
very hard to find property that's available. So
Mm.
we've been, I would say, switched on and hardworking, and made it eventually happen. And yeah, it's very nice.
Oh
We
yeah,
love.
that's very important, to have the support of your your boyfriend, because if not, if you are going one way and the other person is going the other way, it's like a struggle, right? But when you support each other and you have the same attitude towards trying to be a couple, then it's so much easier, right? Everything is
Yeah.
easier.
I mean, it's
And
always a progress. You two people can never have the same direction, but it's a matter of commitment in the sense of how do we find the common sense in this and how do we decide we want to move forward. So I think
hmm.
as long as you find somebody to do that with, keep it. It's a keeper.
Yeah, definitely. I think the same. Yeah. So I'm currently not in a relationship, but yeah, I'm okay with that as well. And that's, I know that's a phase, and it's a good situation as well, because I think in life you have, first of all, you have to be good on your own as well, not only with someone, but because then you will avoid being with the first comer, right? Because if you're not good on your, not okay being on your own, um it's not easy, but it's nice as well. So yeah, let me tell you that I'm happy about it. So I congratulate you with your relationship. I hope it
Yeah.
brings you a lot of good moments, and yeah, I know you will also be able to, as you said, adapt to anything that comes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's
Have support
see.
and
So we already spoken about your roots. We know a bit more about your personal situation. You talked a bit more about the companies you worked for in London. How about Copenhagen? How was it? Where did you work? What companies or what experiences did you have since you moved here?
well, I would like to go like from present backwards because
Great.
my CV is also outlined. I currently work as a photographer, so I made the switch. I have switched industries.
Wow.
Um, I originally came over to study a Master of Science in Integrated Food Studies at the Copenhagen University, which is again very much focused on everything food, from design, sustainability, lawmaking, public health, nutrition, governance, many other aspects. Very interesting course and environment to be in. But I felt like photography is always there at the back of my head. So I have been actively, working in this field as well as a freelancer for the most part. Started my own business.
Wow.
And have been working with both local and international clients while studying. And yeah, upon graduation, I worked as a food photographer for a company here in the
So
city.
you could mix the two of them together, right? You didn't cook, but you took pictures.
Yes, yes. So that was really, really exciting.
Yeah, I can imagine that, right?
That was a really interesting experience, and I've learned a lot. And I felt like, okay, photography. So this is really happening now. And then, yeah, I now work as a product photographer, which is a very interesting field. It's less creative in the sense of, we're not going very abstract about our tasks. We don't go as conceptual as I would go probably with some of my clients in my side projects. But this is a very technical type of task, and that's very interesting because I get to learn every day. In fact, yeah,
New things, yeah, about how,
thinking and
yeah.
process-wise, and yeah. So I very much enjoy this new challenge.
It's so interesting, because you transmit such a big curiosity that you have, right, for new things, for new experiences, and for not learning as if you don't know, but like adding up experience and adding up knowledge to what you already know. I can imagine like you always try to bring this from here, that from there, in your mind or when you work, right? I can imagine you try to build a bit and
Yeah, I
add.
think it's one thing that some like creative people always do. We're
Yeah,
love to find
not
that kind
my
of stuff.
case so much, because I have I have more like a square mind, but yeah, I can see it. I can see it in others. Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm joking. I am creative, but in my comfort zone, I'm like, I see you like exploring, you like expanding, more exploring and expanding your knowledge. That's
This is
amazing.
already a creative. This is already a creative project. We're coming together.
Yes, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, communication is one of the most creative projects there is, because you never know what might happen, and talking to people and expressing what you feel or what you think may give you ideas in different fields and you don't even know it. That's so nice. So you are now a product photographer.
Yeah,
Tell me more. So you said now this is like a new job. You recently started it.
I have in fact started 8 months ago.
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
yeah, yeah, and yeah, I work within product and procurement. So yeah, the people around me are experts in everything crocheting and knitting.
Oh, really?
Yes. So that is in fact the product I work with the most. So everything that surrounds this universe of crocheting and knitting, we sell it, and that's when I come in to, of course, update the e-commerce platform and keep everything up to date.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, so it's a very different product from everything I worked with before, and I actually started knitting myself and crocheting. I'm sorry, I started crocheting myself because
So you
everybody does it around me. So I'm like, I need to learn this. It's another creative project that I'm so ready to nail. Not nail, but
so
like
you got the virus of knitting. It's like a disease, but I mean in a good way, of course.
yes,
It's not a good joke now after the pandemics. I know. Sorry.
super
I'm
meditating, I have to say.
It's very nice, right? I remember I used to do it a while back, but I haven't. I mean, I'm sure I would have to learn back. How do you experience that? Do you like it?
Well, I haven't really started a project per se. I only started making like a little patch, so I practiced the technique. And but yeah, I have big goals. I want to have a beanie by the end of by the end of autumn, technically. So
Yeah, I'm sure you
I think
will.
to
I'm
support
sure
me.
you
I know
will.
they're going to be very happy to assist.
I think your family would want gifts for Christmas, something that you've done yourself, right? Because in Romania we love that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I would love to be able to create something that I can wear and or I can gift to somebody else. So yeah, that's a nice little project, side project going on top of
Okay,
the other ones.
okay. Oh, that's nice. So tell me a bit more. Do you want to share something else about this current job, or you want maybe to mention other companies or other projects that you've been working in since you were in Denmark?
Um, well, in the beginning, I did work as a chef and a baker
Oh
aside my
yeah.
studies.
No, that's very dangerous. I would be eating all the time. I couldn't
Yeah,
do that job.
yeah,
No, sorry.
yeah,
Don't tell me about it. I have some cookies waiting for me. I know they are always there.
yeah. So I am currently currently yeah, focusing on my job, uh, which is very interesting and exciting. And on the side, I have a couple of projects going on with different clients. Um,
Because
and
you do everything together. I mean, you are freelance, you maintain some projects, and then you have this job right now with the knitting and crochet business. And what else do you do? You do nothing else, right? It's
my
done.
friends, my boyfriend, they like to call me a lady of leisure. I certainly have many hobbies and activities going on. I like to go swimming. I like to do sauna. I go to a choir once a week. I go to Danish classes twice a week.
Choir to sing. What kind of
Yep,
music?
I sing in a choir. Um, yeah, it's I would describe it young pop,
Wow.
or yeah, rather it's a diverse repertoire of songs we're covering. So I wouldn't we're not churchy per se, or too churchy. Yeah, so
No, that's amazing. I mean,
none of us are professional singers. I mean, some of them maybe are a lot more educated
maybe they have some background, yeah, in
background,
music.
but we are a group of more than 120 people gathering once a week. And I joined there because it's primarily a Danish uh, gang.
Oh,
So
okay.
which has been amazing for me as an opportunity to practice my language, and yeah, also make more connections in the city, and actually do something I really like to do. I mean, I'm not a professional singer, but I did have several a cappella sessions with a friend in her living room. So we're like, okay, we need to take this to the stage because yeah. So we
Oh,
found a
wow.
choir.
I
We
can
found a choir.
imagine you like doing the crochet and singing at the same time. No, please, it's my humor. Because I mean, so you are saying like random things. I don't see the connection between them, but I can imagine you doing all of them, and you seem so passionate about it, and it's very nice that you are sharing so much. So then you said you also do Danish classes.
Yes, I go twice a week. I have Danish classes. I'm almost finished.
How difficult is it in a scale of 1 to 10 as a language?
12.
12, yeah, yeah, that's why they invented the 12, yeah. So you are, I know, okay. How is your level? Is it
I would
Like,
say intermediary. I am making an active effort at work to speak with my colleagues. Most people in my department are Danish people, and they've been really good and like nice to help, give a hand, and like switch or keep it in Danish and not switch to English. You know, even though it's like work related discussions, and they're very patient and supportive, in fact. So but of course it comes also from my side. I have to make the effort in the first place for them to make an effort, which is
yeah.
which
I
is
think
both,
it's something that we have to have very clear in our minds when we go and move to a different country. We are the ones that we have to make an effort first, at least showing that we have interest in learning the language, knowing a bit more about the cultural differences, and also being like sensitive to being able to recognize, I don't know this, I don't understand this,
Mhm.
please explain more. And you'll definitely find people who take time to and patience to explain and to and but it's a very good attitude that you are having. Talking about this, tell me a bit more about the cultural differences and the customs that you had to get used to in Denmark, because I imagine London as being such cosmopolitan town. Maybe you didn't even feel so many differences, but I'm sure that Denmark is a bit more conservative and you have more differences there.
I feel like one cultural aspect which I came to understand after a good while of living here was the fact that Denmark is a rather small country, and
Mm,
given this fact, Denmark makes an active effort to preserve the culture, you know. And I understand why, because being so small, it's so easy to lose your
yeah,
culture, traditions, and ways of doing things. And also considering the globalization, you know, everybody's mixing up. So in this regard, Denmark can make it a bit hard for internationals. And that's a
mm,
story you're not really finding
mm,
online, because most of the time, you know, Danes speak very good English, and you're being told that moving to Denmark will be easy because everybody speaks English. Therefore, if you speak English, you're in. But in fact, I would say that that's not true. And the reasons behind it, I think it's precisely the fact that it's a very small culture, and it's important for them to keep what they have because they have a very good thing going on here. And those who want to get this very good thing that Denmark has to offer have to make an effort to give
yeah,
back, give something back. And I think learning the language is a very
important. The
important and honoring way to show
mm.
respect to what Denmark has to offer. And that's also just something that can apply to any other host
To
country.
any other host country, yeah. But yeah, I think in this situation, being such, as you said, such a peculiar language, a difficult language, it's an effort. It's not like Spanish or not even English, right? For Romanians, we are a Latin country. We've heard English forever. I mean, our generations, and then the Latin languages, Italian and Spanish, for us are really easy to learn. So
Yeah,
it would have been much easier for you to learn, I'm sure, Spanish or Italian, and maybe you even speak a bit.
yeah,
But yeah, I imagine Danish being super
yeah.
difficult, and yeah, it's a commitment that you've made with the country and with yourself. You think you're gonna obtain the nationality, or you don't think about it right now?
I do think about it. That's, you know, that's certainly something I would love to have. I wouldn't say I'm working hard towards it as of now, because I'm privileged enough not to be in the position to, you know, risk my
Mm.
uh,
Yeah,
right.
like legality, yeah.
exactly. But considering the very unstable political times we live in, you never know what's going to happen. And of course, looking at the history of this country and how much political and economical stability the country has had, it makes me want to
Belong, yeah, more.
and feel 100% safe. And that would be nice. That would be very nice. But technically speaking, you can only really apply after you've been here for 7 years, and then the process takes another 2, so roughly 9 years to get your citizenship in Denmark. And there are pretty tight rules that you have to abide by for your case to be accepted, passed on as valid.
Yeah, so you just might move on with what you have right now, and then when the time comes, because you are only 2 years away from the 7 years, so that's not very
I would
far
like
away. Yeah, you will have time to think about it. Okay,
like
so it's interesting what you've said. So yeah, I think maintaining the traditions would have to be one of the main goals for every country, but it's not. So I'm happy that you see that in Denmark. And do you think that living abroad, I mean, in this question in your case, it just has a very short answer. Do you think living abroad affected your personal and professional development? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Certainly.
sure.
Certainly.
Yeah, because you were the maker of it, so that's in your situation, it's not a surprise because you went for it. You went for the studies and you went for the experiences and you went for the freelancing and then entrepreneurship and then whatever came with it. So yeah, it's amazing. Do you think you would have done the same if you would have stayed in Romania, or that's not even a possibility in your situation?
I think I always had an attitude of go-getter, or like I was always kind of restless in the sense that I was 16 and I started selling cosmetics to like the whole city and had a team of 15 as well. Which
wow.
Yeah, which was a very, very rich experience for me, considering the age I was at. I learned that I cannot stand still. I need to find opportunities. I need to discover myself constantly. And back then, I was indeed primarily exercising my sales skills instead. In fact, because I was working with one of these cosmetics companies called Oriflame.
Oh,
right?
Oriflame. I wanted to ask you which one was it, because we had a few of them in Romania.
And that was, I think, one like I was something like 16, and I had a team of like 15 people, and 1 month I made more money that my mom made,
Sure.
and I was like,
yeah,
okay.
I was really.
That was fun, and I always enjoyed being independent financially, I think, from a very young age. So coming from a small city, you can only go this far, I think.
Yeah, but I mean, even being from a small city, you've already had like a full experience there. I mean, it's amazing that with 16 you had a team of 15 friends or people working for you. That's amazing, right?
Not really working for me, they were working for themselves, but given the structure of
the pyramidal kind of pyramid structure of Oriflame, you had them under. They
it
were
was
like
a very interesting interaction with leadership and just human skills to
so
develop.
important, so important. Definitely. I think it's one of the lessons that we have to learn in life, how to navigate those social skills and human skills and leadership. Even if you're not a boss, and even if you're not a director of a company or in a business, you need leadership skills. Amazing. I mean, you are sharing so very nice stories. You have a surprise with every with every question. Okay, I want to know more. So, if you want, just if you want, tell me about challenges. Tell me about what was, in your opinion, one of the biggest challenges that you faced when you moved abroad. What did you think it was the biggest challenge for you?
I think that experiences were very different. They London to Copenhagen. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a very different experience with being an international living abroad in these two particular cities. So I would focus more on the Copenhagen one. I would think it's more relevant, and
Sure.
um, I think one shock was that that they don't really care as much about what you've done before Denmark,
Mm.
you know, and like in my particular case, coming from London, I thought, okay, London must be, you know, like it's London, right? Like London.
Yeah,
So
you should be impressed. They should be impressed by that,
they should
right?
be impressed a little bit at least. I didn't feel like that was really happening for a long
Mm.
while, and I clearly I quick like not quick enough, unfortunately, but I came to understand why, and that's again because they look at they indeed have very high standards in education in their work culture. You know, they have really a really nice way of doing things here in many aspects. So Danes or like Denmark likes to think of Denmark as the superior
Oh.
sort
Mm.
of country. Um,
Because
so
they think they work hard to achieve that, to maintain that standard, or
because
you
it is
think.
indeed good, it is indeed
Mm.
good, and they're very aware of it, you know. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
hard to convince somebody else that you fit in. I would say
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I think many people struggle with when they move here, and unfortunately, many don't find
Adapt.
motivation to
Mm.
stay. Um,
Mm.
Hence why there are relatively high rates of students coming to study and then leaving afterwards, because it is a hard place to find a job. It is a hard place to find home. It is a hard place to find friends because, of course, language interferes,
Mm.
cultural aspects interfere. But you have to work a lot with your own mindset and drawing lines in order to understand what do you want from your life, and just to look around and assess whether your geographical surroundings can provide that for you. And I think in my personal case that definitely happened. So I was like, okay, I like this place, this is really serving me well, so I can either sit here and complain about all of the inconveniences and the barrages and the, you know, the hardship that comes with integrating, or accepting the struggles and working towards solving them, and turning the situation in your favor. And yeah, that's a very hard thing to do, I would say. Many people struggle with it.
Def Definitely. I think Spain is so much easier when it comes to that, because people here have such a different attitude, and they are very, very open, and they don't. I mean, we are talking in general, right? Because you have so many types of people everywhere, but I think it's very difficult what you're saying. And yeah, do you think you still struggle with it sometimes right now, or do you have a different challenge right now in the present?
Um, I think I got a lot better at understanding what I need to change in my behavior and mindset in order to change the situations for better. They're not perfect as we
Hmm.
speak. You know, socially speaking, I still feel like there can be improvement made. But in order to do that, of course, I started practicing, um, you know, I started structuring my time accordingly so that I have a chance to meet more people, that I have more a chance to be out there and enlarge my network in that sense. Um, so you have to take yourself by the hand and go, now you get better at planning with people, you get better at keeping connections, you get better
Mm,
at finding yourself hobbies that would lead to having a better social life.
sure.
Um,
Mm.
so
Yeah, even finding hobbies that a local might have, right? Trying something that they like to do.
yeah. And
Mm,
accepting how they do things here, for instance, they have many social clubs, for instance, where people that with similar interests they get together, meet, do that thing, enjoy each other's company, and that's their concept of hygge in a way. Hygge is the concept
hygge.
of hygge. It's the sense of togetherness, of coziness, which is very much embedded in the Danish culture, and that's how they understand socializing, and that's yeah, that's one thing you have to work around when moving here, because of course when you come from a very different culture like ours, for instance, where you sit in the bus and just talk with people,
Yeah.
or
Well,
you
in Spain,
scream at
it's
your
the
neighbor,
same.
or you know,
Yeah.
or in Spain as well. It takes a few years maybe to understand those. This is one of the hardest
Yeah,
social.
and even how we are built. I mean, we come from a Latin country, and we are used to not having to do such a big effort because we were always very friendly amongst each other in Romania. And then I don't know. I think even London had the same, maybe had the same atmosphere. Yeah, I can imagine that. It's good for you that you shared. Maybe people who think even plan on going to Denmark just for a short period of time, it's good for them to know this because it's an important detail, you know,
Yeah,
for us that we come from countries where we don't have that.
yeah.
Very nice. I'm so happy that you shared that with us, and I think it's very, very useful.
Yeah.
I think that I would like to know. So yeah, I see you are making efforts in a positive way to adapt and to change your mindset and everything. But how about staying connected to your home country? How about staying to? Do you do things that you did in Romania? Do you have Romanian friends in Denmark?
I do have a couple, but the way I like to stay connected with Romania is through some of my friends that I
Mm,
still keep in touch with. So I feel like
mm,
I have very nice connections back home, that are all sort of yeah, they're all have sprouted during high school, I would say, and you know, I've been fortunate enough
to be able to maintain them.
to maintain them, and have been surrounded with you know, genuine people. So I've yeah, I love that. So we don't talk often, but when we talk, you know, we it's nice. It's nice. And then I have my family, of course,
Sure.
which I visit regularly, and they come over and visit me, and my friends come and visit me, and I go and visit them. But you know, I don't feel the need to be in Romania much. You know, as long
I
as
I
as
I
long as I'm
shared
up
that
to
with you.
date,
Yeah.
as long as
Mm.
I'm up to date with the loved ones, I'm
Yeah, you're
happy.
okay. Yeah, you're
Because,
happy. Amazing. Yeah, we have that same. I have the same feeling as you do, and it will be like something very natural. As I suppose you don't. I used to struggle with it at the beginning because I felt sorry for my family. They wanted me to visit and I wanted to go, but I didn't want it to stay much, and they were always complaining. But then with time, I made peace with myself. I mean, I don't have to um, I realized that I don't have to do something I don't want, and it's okay to not want to go to your home country. I mean, it's not a crime. It's just that you moved on and you have your life in a different place and you enjoy doing different things. And as you
I
said,
think
why?
I would love to, you know, maybe in 10 years time or so, have a holiday home in the mountains.
Mm,
I could do that.
that's a
Romania
good
is
plan.
stunning, right? Romania is stunning, and I would love to
Yes.
be more connected. but I've been very much focused on career, on building a life here, and exploring the rest of the world, in fact, which I love to do. Because back to what else I like to do, I love to travel, and that brings me a lot of joy to go and discover new places. So, of course, it's always nice to go back home, but when I do have the time and the opportunity to travel, do I keep going to Romania or do I go to somewhere in the world?
That's reality. We don't have so much spare time, so we have holiday time as any other mortal on the planet, so we have to use that wisely. I think that's why we sometimes choose not to go to Romania. Actually, I will go to Romania in 20th of June, so I'll be in Romania after 3 years. So yeah, I think it's okay.
I had a year of going for like 7 times or something last year. Like,
oh wow. So yeah, so
for like a weekend and like quick visits to friends, to family, to my sister, and so
yeah, no, not me. Okay, let me ask you a bit more. Maybe some of the people that are seeing us right now, or even after in the other channels that will share this interview, would like to hear an advice or an idea about what to do if they are considering moving abroad for work or for a business. What advice would you give those people?
So you're asking if they want to move abroad?
Yeah, like for people, maybe there are people that want to find a job or start a business in Denmark, for example. What advice would you give them? Yeah,
I think it's very important to understand the reason why you're moving. In the first
wow. I wasn't expecting that answer. Another surprise.
Yeah.
Amazing. Tell me more about that. How is that?
You can move in another country because the pay is higher for a certain job you're doing, And you may be going to a different country, earning the money, going back home. If that's what you want from your experience abroad, fair. If you are going abroad because you want a different lifestyle, a different opportunities that you maybe are not reaching in your current location, then it's a different story.
Okay.
Right? So I think that's the first question that people should ask themselves when they are thinking, oh, Denmark sounds good or Spain sounds good. You have to think, what can Spain bring different to me? Or if I want to use Spain or Denmark just as a better source of income, which is oftentimes the reason why many people leave their country.
Yeah, like it's one of the main reasons that you move.
Personally, from my personal experience, I left because I didn't feel like I can
maybe reach your full potential in Romania.
Reach my full potential in Romania due to the cultural aspects and the history behind it.
Sure.
And secondly, because I have one life and I want a place that can sustain my lifestyle, in the sense of I want to be able to get out in the city and bike, for instance, because it's healthy and it's less polluting to the environment around us, for instance. And so Copenhagen supports that for me. So it's a matter of, do I want more money to?
Yeah, do I just want more money, or do I want
go back where am I happy with what my surrounding is providing and I can keep going this way for the rest of my life? Or do I want to be in a different place where I can live my life differently? So, of course, maybe also financially, but just speaking on a general level, considering all aspects involved into life, from how your daily routine looks like. In London, I was commuting with the train 2 hours a day minimum.
Wow,
minimum.
That's crazy.
And,
that's not life.
Yeah, so that already comes into your life, you know. It's there. Do you accept it? Can you go on for the rest of your life this way? I decided it's not. I could definitely do it. I did it for 3 years and I survived and I loved it and it's been great. But do I want to keep going? I don't. So then I was like, I need a different place where I can live my life uh, in the rhythm I want to live, and still afford to go to London maybe for a weekend if I miss it. So
Sure, yeah.
so it's about, you know, striking the balance, understanding if that place can satisfy you financially, politically, geographically, if it can entertain you, if you find acceptance where you're moving. For instance, I am, you know, gay, and that means Denmark has been, you know, Denmark is one of the, is in fact the first country in the world to have legalized gay partnership. So you
Yeah,
know,
you don't
very
have
open,
that in
really
Romania.
accepting. Exactly. So these are some of the maybe aspects that one should consider when moving abroad. I really went far away with this.
No, yeah, but it is,
um,
you know, because this is this is like a good advice. Just an advice would be what you said, the first line, but then you came up with the what's behind
yeah,
that, a
because you
statement
can
that
keep
you
it
made.
simple. You can keep it simple to how much I earn, and then it's very easy to make a decision on which
Yeah,
country is the richest.
but
But
the life, it's not only about how much money you make, because you know that life, daily life, day-to-day life, it's everything that you said. You need to be able to nurture all the aspects of your life, and then you have to grow and develop as a person. And of course you have to have your acceptance and peace of mind to be able to be who you are. You can't be, no, because oh my, that's the neighbor that doesn't like me because I'm tall and beautiful. So no, I have to hide away. Or, oh no, that neighbor, it's, or wherever from across the street doesn't like the way that I'm wearing a mini skirt
yeah.
or whatever.
And then
And
I think one of the most important aspects is also having a scan on all the social aspects of a country and how society is built, designed, and what's the norm of thinking uh, and interaction in between humans. And that's something I very much value in the Danish culture, how people treat each other, how people view each other with respect and with equality and with love. And
I have to go to Denmark, you know, right?
you're
You are being such a good advocate. I haven't been to
really selling
Denmark.
it.
Yeah, you are a good seller. So if you
See,
have a,
selling
yeah, I know.
selling lipsticks at 16 leads to selling a country at 25.
I see that. It's amazing. But yeah, no, I think you are what's your problem is that you are authentic. So you are saying what you are feeling. So that's always the best way to sell anything or just to
Really
communicate.
so.
Oh, that's such a, I mean, we have to finish because we've been talking for more than an hour. So this would be, it's a long conversation. I really love it, but we only have 3 more questions. So I cannot make them. So I have to choose. I had more, but I had to choose. So yeah,
Right.
let's, I'm not going to put a limit. So let's see what comes out of this. The first of the three is, what would you do differently now if you would go back to these experiences that you had in the last 8 years, maybe, or just choose one of aspect that you would have done differently?
No, I can't say I regret anything. In fact,
You regret not doing it with 16, maybe.
no, I think everything happened for a reason, and I don't feel like I ever lost time either. And
Oh
that's a
my God. Okay,
yeah.
you
I don't
could.
feel like, you know, maybe what I would have done differently. I would have put a bit less pressure on myself at times to understand everything or um,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
keep going, or maybe I would have, what I would have done differently. Yeah, I see, things come eventually to the surface. I would have probably told my perfectionist side to chill a little bit quicker. and
Mm.
just accept the processes, so I don't get so frustrated in the processes at times, and just kind of, yeah.
I know how it is. I still have my perfectionist side, but I have it very. I give it a lot of faults and errors to go crazy and to be like, okay, I'm leaving. I can't take this anymore.
At least professionally speaking, I think I managed
Definitely.
to give myself that.
Mm.
Um,
You have to indulge yourself. Yeah,
that's
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 one
what
of the
that
things.
indulgement exactly of trusting the process and believing that it's an ongoing learning experience, and what feels right today may not feel right tomorrow, and not
Andre, you are so young, you don't even
encapsulating
know. I
myself
mean,
in yeah, not even encapsulating myself within what a degree tells me that I should be doing with the rest of my life, but rather doing what I like and what feels right and what works for me at the moment, and what makes me what keeps me learning and evolving the skills I already have, and maybe, finding new ones like crocheting, or but yeah.
you never know. You have to keep on exploring and yeah, and expanding. Okay, we are going to the next question. Tell me a bit more, just to make a resume of the those exciting projects or the ventures you are currently working and you
Yeah.
want to share with the people here.
um aside uh, Aside from my job and freelance work, I also have a YouTube channel, which I have
Okay.
started back in the summer, when I was in a period of thinking, how do I do keep my connection and love for food alive? Because of course I was already working as a photographer, and food was kind of losing terrain from the
Mm,
from the landscape. So then I was like, okay, I can do both visual communication and food. So I thought, okay, let's combine the two. And then this project came to life.
mm,
And it wears my name. It's Andrei Constantin Cooks at the moment, and it's on YouTube and on all of the other platforms. But yeah, I've been rather busy and creatively numb, and I am very excited to get back into it. I think at the beginning of the summer. Yes, but that's a very exciting project of mine, which I think I kept telling my parents about ever since like 17. Actually, back then I used to have a blog where I was posting recipes and like always did a bit of food related, like influencering, wannabeing behavior online. So I hope with this project that things will really sort of come together and help me connect the two. Um, yes. And I just want to have fun with it. That's the goal. The goal is to enjoy it and not allow it to stress me. 'Cause-
maybe we need just a small portion of stress. We don't have
yeah.
to
Yeah,
to
that's why
have too
I
much.
postponed it. That's why I put it on hold for a while, because yeah, I've been focusing on other aspects of both my professional and personal life the past
I
several
just I
months.
just shared in the comments. I just shared your YouTube channel. Okay, so we are ready for the last question. I don't want to, but we have to. So let's give the people that are listening and seeing us. Let's give them a I don't know, a CTA. You know, that's like such a marketing term. A call to action or a desired outcome you'd like to leave for them.
Uh, I think it would be to tell your perfectionist side to chill,
Great.
trust the process, do things that feel right, and forget about the societal requirements of how you perform professionally. Uh, because I've learned a big lesson that making a change from an industry to another, even though it seemed like I might fail, um, like you've spent 7 years of your life studying in two of the most prestigious capital of Europe, and now all of a sudden you don't do anything with those studies. Yeah, but it didn't feel right at the time. So I learned to just, you know, be in the moment, do what feels right, do accept that it's all a process, and I might be going back to food. I might be
Yeah, the fact that you left that industry doesn't mean you shut that door forever. You can always go back and open it.
yeah, and you
But
can always
you're
keep it
just,
alive. You can always
yeah,
keep it alive with
exactly.
certain ways, different ways
You're
to
just opening yourself to new opportunities
exactly,
and
and that's
opening
very
other
important.
doors.
It's
Yeah.
very important to keep yourself interested and keep yourself excited about life, because there's so much you can explore out there, you know. And
Yes.
why let a degree achieved at 21 or 23, 24 determine what you're going to be doing for the rest of your life? uh,
Definitely.
and get bored by it eventually, or if you get bored by it, why not change, you know? Or
Yeah. Or not get stuck in anything. Maybe you choose something now with the best of your instincts, but in a couple of months it's whatever happens and you have them. So it's like you have to follow your dreams, right? It's what you
yeah.
want to say. Oh yeah,
And
that's
it's great if
amazing.
you can stick, if it's great to stick with the subject as well. And I feel like I don't feel like I'm not sticking with the subject, you know. I just don't allow it to not allow me to do everything I want with my life, which
Definitely, yeah.
is where I've been before. I felt like, oh, I cannot do that because I should be doing this, because, you know, like, no, like, in fact, I can, if I want to do it and I'm having fun with it, go for it.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not getting stuck with things that you with your own choices. I think that's like you feel like you're betraying yourself, because then the perfectionist becomes like the judge and then comes and says, "Oh, so but now you're changing your mind. No, don't do that. You have to stick here because
Um,
yeah, I know how it is." That's a very good advice, because it's also can be very relatable to people that move abroad, to people
Yeah.
that or not even moving abroad. We had this conversation also with Lucia. It's not about expats only, it's about people who are navigating through their careers.
Mhm.
We have to be able to change, because now it's not like it used to be when our parents were
Yeah.
working. We have to be able to be more flexible and yes, and to be able to do what you did. You studied, you worked, and you had your freelancing all at the same time, and keeping that rhythm and learning how to handle it and to find the balance as well. Amazing. I mean, Andrei, you are such an amazing person. I really would love to be able to meet you in reality, in person. I feel like we
Welcome to
will.
Copenhagen.
Yeah, I have to come. You can come to Malaga as well. I think you'll find it nice as well. Very
I was
chill.
actually there. I was there in for New Year's Eve this year.
No, don't tell me that. Really. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
we have to keep in touch and try to at least if you come to Spain, let me know, because you never know. I travel a lot also
Okay.
in Spain. But yeah, we definitely have to keep in touch. Thank you so much for this
Thank you very much
interview.
for this fun project, and I'm looking forward for our potential next one.
Yeah, definitely. We keep in touch and we see maybe when we will have, I don't know, something different, something new to share, we can join and do a follow-up of this. Okay. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye bye.